So I was called to diagnose this vehicle, this range Cherokee. So what I'm going to do is it's having an issue. I have a video on it solving most of them. But when you start and it runs, it starts and run. It starts and run, but the check engine light doesn't go off. The client says he wants it off. So he says he wants the light off, and one thing I noticed was during the first diagnosing, it was reporting fuel gauge issue, fuel gauge sending unit. And this vehicle, so the whole issue is they changed the control board and they fitted another one and they programmed it. So what they did was they just transferred the EEPROM. So this control board is for the donor one. The flash on it is for the donor one. So if you can see, let me see. Yeah, let me go to reports. So this control board is for the donor. The flash on it is for the donor. And the issue that we are facing now is fuel sending unit 2. So this means the car should be 4x4 because 4x4s have 2 fuel sending units, which is 4 gauge. But there is a front wheel drive which has only 1 gauge. So yesterday I tried updating it with the tech authority. What it does is the tech authority during the update process, it updates the part number in the control unit. So it doesn't go and use the VIN to search for the correct part number. No, it updates the part number in the vehicle, sorry, in the control board. So it updated the part number instead of using the VIN to find for the correct part number. I don't think there is the right part number. So this part number is for 4x4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash it with a front wheel drive firmware, so that the car will see that there is no secondary fuel gauge in the system. So it's reporting the second fuel gauge in the system because this car is for 4x4, and when you raise it, it will go off. But the moment you cycle the ignition or start the vehicle, it comes back on and you can see it's still active. So we'll do the firmware update, which you have to do because this part number is what tells the Wintech what to flash the vehicle with. So this is the part number that tells Wintech that tells Wintech 2 what to flash with. So it uses the part number instead of using the VIN number to get to the right part number. No, it uses the part number on the control unit. So there is the part number on the control unit, and we have to flash it with the correct part number. So this part number after flashing will change. But the issue is because this part number is not part of the part number for 4-wheel drive, you have to do a little bit editing, which I have already done. So what I'll do is I'll try and flash it and see, because my subscription is out, but I downloaded files for this car, which is the 2-wheel drive, the front wheel drive files. So moment of truth, let's do the flashing and let's see if it will be able to solve the client's problem, which is this. That's the only fault code in the system. Let me turn off my Bluetooth. That's the only fault code in the system now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my battery maintainer on it, and you can see the check engine light is still on. So I'm hoping by the time I'm done with the flashing, the check engine light should go and that fault code should also go. So I'll do that because I checked the BCM and the BCM let me know that it has only 1 fuel gauge, and I checked the fuel itself also, and I got to find out that it has only 1 fuel gauge. So I'll do that update. I'll bring you along whilst I'm doing that update. But sorry, I did the edit already. So with the how I did for my Chrysler flash application, J25 flash application, to see the part number and flash it. I'll do a later video on it depending on the request. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to turn on my battery maintainer, then I'll do the flash and bring you along back, or I'll bring you back for us to scan and see if the fault code is gone. I'll flash the ECU with a new firmware. So what I'm going to do is I'll do auto scan and see. So the main fault, the reason why I flashed the firmware was the firmware on the ECU, or when they bought the ECU, it was for 4x4, but now I flashed it with a front wheel drive firmware, because this vehicle is a front wheel drive vehicle, and the moment you have 4x4 firmware on it, then that means you'll be having fault code like a secondary fuel tank level sensor. This one doesn't have it because it's a 4x4 vehicle. So now let me see if I'll see that fault in this one still. So lost communication, all these are stored fault code. Do you get it? So now that means I'm just using this to check the data and see, because I use the VIN number to get the actual details. So all these are stored fault code. The only active is the not calibrated, so I'll do that. So with this one, that means my theory is right and the problem is fixed. So I think this, when I erase the fault code and start the check engine and start the engine, the check engine light will go off because of what I have done, the firmware that I've changed. So I'll check why there is still fault on the ECU. And normally with these vehicles, sometimes you have to do the throttle relay and other things. So I'll do that one also. Then I'll start the vehicle and see if it will run, because I'll flash it with a front wheel drive firmware, so that the car or the ECU and other control modules will see the ECU as it has only one fuel pressure sensor. One fuel gauge. So you can see. So I'll try and finish erasing all the fault code and go and do the throttle relay. Normally, if you do new programming or flash day system, what you have to do is you have to do throttle relay. So now that I've been able to flash the ECU, let me go into the ECU, which has 3 fault code, and up to now I don't know the fault code. So let me cycle the ignition back, and you can see the security light is off. That tells me that there is no immobilizer issue as at now. So now let me read the fault code before I go to erase all fault code and try and start the vehicle and see. So this you can see the throttle position. So this means you have to relearn the throttle for this fault codes to go. Normally when you do this flash, when you flash the ECUs new, you have to do this thing so that the ECU will now. So you can see, let me recycle the ignition and go back and read again, and you see that the throttle position. So this means it needs calibration, so I just have to do the calibration. Although it's not showing, let me do the calibration to save myself from any stress or anything that will pop up. So this means that when I start the vehicle, the light should go off. So let me do lane throttle. Normally this is something you should do whenever you are done flashing the ECU, or you are done with anything. Press and hold the accelerator pedal to the floor. The throttle must be held to the floor. Okay, press OK. I'm ready. So okay, my leg is on the accelerator, so I'm holding it for it to finish counting. So I just have to relearn the throttle. Then after that, I'll start the vehicle and see if it will run. Release and press OK. I've released it, and now I'll wait for it to do the learning. I think the steering angle sensor has an issue because the traction light is still on. And yeah, it is done learning. So now when you turn on the key, you will not see that sign over there again. Okay, so when I turn the key on and off, I'll not see the throttle sign showing again. Now let me start the vehicle. Yeah, and it is running, and the check engine is off. Now you can see that the check engine is off because there is no fault code. So what I'll do now is I have to relearn the steering angle sensor so that the steering angle sensor light will also go off. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So let me go back and see if I'll find any fault code. I use the VIN number to find for the actual. So let me do the steering angle sensor relearn, which I'm going to get from, I think it should be in this. So let me do the special function. Let me do the relearn. Okay, so click on OK, then 3 times. 1, 2, if it last one. So I'll finish turning the steering, then I'll recenter it. Okay, then recenter it again. Okay, so quarter and quarter, then recenter it again and press OK. Okay, so cycle the ignition and leave the ignition on for 5 seconds. So now the 5 seconds is up. If the steering angle or slippery light doesn't go off, then that means it is not done. So now as you can see, the angle sensor is off. That tells me that now it is done. Okay, so I'm done with it. So let me start the vehicle. Okay, the vehicle has been parked for long, so now that the vehicle is running, and normally when the vehicle is running, the fan kicks in. So I don't know if maybe the firmware, because I've gotten the right firmware to flash it, everything is okay. That's why the fan is not going haywire again. So let me erase the fault code. So I shouldn't get any fault code here. I'm done. So what I'm going to do is let me turn it off and turn it back on and do a quick erase so that it can erase the code in the ECU. I should get only maybe a fault in the control unit, because now the steering angle sensor is learned perfectly, so I shouldn't get any fault. So I think I should get only one fault related to the maybe airbag or the car is an accident vehicle. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll be giving you more videos on I'll be giving you more videos on Jeep cars, Chrysler cars, or FCA cars when it comes to their control board and how to handle it. And sometimes understanding the fault code is part of the answer. So now that all the lights are off, everything is off, I call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So I'll let it finish doing what it's doing, then I'll rescan the system, then I'll start the vehicle again. Yeah, so I think I have to check why it's behaving that way. So now everything is done. So I think I should have only faults in the, because now the vehicle is running, so if there is any fault it should come up. So I should only have a fault in the airbag. Yeah, that's what is happening. So I'm done with this successfully. So I use the CDA software to do the calibration, and it cost me a lot to do the calibration, because when it comes to Jeep, you can't easily change the firmware. You can use the Chrysler flash to also do it, by it's another headache. The ECU has to be brand new or has to be empty. So with this one, I use the CDA to do the flashing, to flash the correct firmware onto the ECU. Although they got me a different ECU, I use it to do that. So now that I'm having the fan down, now the fan is down and I'm having the correct firmware, because I use the VIN number to find for the actual firmware for the vehicle. Now everything is okay, and I call it a fix, and all the lights are off. except the airbag lights. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.